underway. All right. All right, here we go. Three, two, one. Well, big breaking news just after the trade deadline technically closed. Really, it was just reported after the deadline. The trade was already in. The New York Yankees have traded for Harrison Bader, giving up Jordan Montgomery. There are cash considerations or play to name later, but that doesn't really matter. It's essentially a one-for-one swap. Bader, Yankees get Bader. Cardinals get Montgomery. Cardinals need a starter. Yankees need a center fielder. It works out, I guess. But we're going to cover that trade right here on Bleacher Brawls. We're going to talk about what are the Yankees getting, what are they giving up. We're going to cover all that. So my name is Derek. I'm here with Barnes, and let's get straight into it. Obviously, this came as a little bit of a shock in a sense because everyone kind of was expecting like a late minute like trade from the Yankees, but trading Montgomery, who was kind of entrenched in the rotation, I shouldn't say kind of, he was entrenched in the rotation, and going and get Harrison Bader, who was expecting Bader to get traded as well. It's very interesting. I'll throw it over to Barnes. Just a thought on the trade as a whole.
The trade as a whole, definitely a surprise. Definitely did not see this one coming. I've actually always kind of liked Jordan Montgomery. He was the kind of guy that I would always go, yeah, I just like the guy. So it kind of stinks that we're losing a guy that I always kind of liked or had a soft spot for. But to be honest with you, I overall I like the adjustment. We're adding a defensive center fielder. Judge has been playing phenomenal center field. I really just think that it's also just looking out for a little bit of his health, especially on those knees, being a bigger dude, covering a lot of ground out in center field. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, overall, I think the swap is fair. Cardinals are getting a piece that they wanted. Yankees are getting a piece that they wanted. So it helps shore it up defensively in the outfield. I like the move overall.
Yeah, this kind of comes down to wants, to like needs over wants, not wants over needs. The Yankees want Montgomery, and obviously the Cardinals want Bader, but the Cardinals needed pitching. They get Montgomery, especially starters. With I think Steven Matz is injured, and forget was Jack Flaherty who got injured earlier. I'm pretty sure it was earlier this season. So they needed starters. So they go out and get Montgomery. The Yankees need a center fielder, and you go out and get Harrison Bader, one of the guys who's so solid defensively. He's one of the best defensive center fielders in the league. So you're getting a guy who, he's just gonna make the Yankees outfield defense so much better. You get slide Judge to right. You have Benintendi in left, who's a solid defender. You're looking at, and also up the middle, a lot better defensively now. Gleyber Torres has been decent at second. I shouldn't even say decent, good at second base defensively this year compared to the struggles at short he had previously. You have kind of Falefa, who's great defensively at shortstop. So now up the middle, you're getting very good defense, and that's huge, especially for a team that wants to go out and win a World Series. Defense is huge. You can't have guys making errors, every other inning.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. I really think Bader is going to add a lot to it, especially in those games where, you kind of got a couple different guys out in the outfield. Maybe Matt Carpenter's playing out there. Maybe Stanton's playing out there for resting or injuries, whatever the situation may be. But it's like, hey, you know what? Yankees got the lead. They have a 1 or 2 run lead going into the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. Hey, you know what? Let's take out Carpenter. Let's shift Hicks over somewhere. Throw in Bader. You're just covering you're protecting that lead with Bader, and I really think that that's what the Yankees got out of this trade.
And Bader also too could be a solid pinch runner if you need him to do that if he's on your bench. So he brings a lot to the table. Runs well, can be a pinch runner, can steal some bases, plays good defense, and just kind of he does that. I'm not going to compare him to Jackie Bradley Jr., but I am going to compare him to Jackie Bradley Jr. You look at what Jackie did for that 2018 Red Sox team. Wasn't the greatest hitter, but what is he there for? His defense. That's what Harrison Bader's on this Yankees team because of his defense. He also does add speed, which Jackie's not the fastest guy in the world, but that's the point. You see in the AL East, a lot of like the Rays had Kiermaier, the Red Sox had Jackie, now the Yankees have Bader. And look at the Blue Jays, they have Springer. And even the Orioles to an extent with Cedric Mullins. Like, is there a bad defensive center fielder in the American League? I'm not counting Jarren Duran towards this. Um, you know, I don't think there's a bad defensive center fielder in the American League when I'm not counting Jarren Duran. Kike Hernandez is the Red Sox starting center fielder. He's just injured right now. But yeah, good. So I think that's kind of a key. You look at the rest of the AL East; they all have good center field defense. The Yankees, not that they didn't have it, but they get that much better center field defense, which also moving Judge to right makes their right field defense better. Benintendi left makes their left field defense better. All around better defense. But for what the Yankees have to give up, you have to give up Jordan Montgomery, who was a very good starter for the Yankees this year. Not like ace caliber, but nothing wrong with that. He's solid middle rotation, middle back end of the rotation kind of guy. No, I shouldn't say back end, but like kind of borderline 3-4 depending on the day. And he was solid for the Yankees, but you have to give him from the trade. Bard's thought on what the Yankees might be losing in Montgomery.
You know what? Like I said, always had a soft spot for Montgomery. He was always that like fourth or fifth guy in the rotation, and it was just situationally. I really do think he has third starter rotation talent. It always seemed like Montgomery would just never get run support, and he would always like give up a early home run, and it was just an unfortunate like wasted quality start out of Montgomery. 2 runs over 5 or 6 innings. I feel like that's a pretty good start. However, Yankees fans, don't freak out. We've got Gerrit Cole, got Montas, who we just added. You got Nestor, you got Tyone still in that 4th spot, and now just taking over from Montgomery is Domingo Germán, right? And a lot of people are like, "Oh, Domingo Germán." We're not looking to replace an ace position here. We're looking to just scrap up a few more wins that Montgomery would have had. Domingo Germán and Montgomery are a like-for-like swap, except for the fact that one's a righty, one's a lefty. And in that 5th spot in your rotation, you're not necessarily like, oh, we need this guy to be a lefty. We need him to be a power righty. Because once we get to the playoffs,
he's not even going to be in the rotation.
Yeah, it's not even going to be a thing because you're going to go to 4 guys, probably a trio, Cole, Montas, Nestor, and if you're up 3 games in a series, okay, let Tyone go get that 4th. Let him try and get it.
So you're going to have that 4th guy to pitch game 4 unless you get into a situation where you absolutely need to win game 4. And then you can roll Cole out there on short rest.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where you got your playoff trio and then you got Tyone. So Yankees fans, all we need to do is get we are at 70 wins at the moment of this recording. In theory, you probably need about 26 to 30 more wins to get into the playoffs. Ensure you're getting that 2nd or 1st overall spot, depending on where the Astros land. So you're just counting on Germán to get you a few wins. You're not, Montgomery's not going to move the needle either which way. Neither is Germán, So we're not losing a whole lot except for a likable guy. But in terms of overall wins losses, I don't think we're losing a whole lot.
Yeah, obviously I think Montgomery's a little better than Germán, but it's not like you're not going from Gerrit Cole to Germán. You're not like it's not that kind of drop off. So it should still be okay. And also too, here's the thing: Yankees made some moves. Obviously, they got rid of Joey Gallo, which should also help open up the DH spot a little bit more, maybe for a guy like Stanton. And obviously, Benintendi's going to play every day. Also keeps an extra outfield spot open for Bader or Hicks, whoever's playing the outfield, or Carpenter or whoever it would be. So it puts the Yankees in that kind of interesting spot where it's like, okay, we have options, but we also are comfortable with all our options as well. Joey Gallo, it felt like the Yankees were like, we have to play him because he's Joey Gallo, but we don't really want to play him, if you know what I mean. So now they have guys where they can feel comfortable playing them in any situation. The guys know their roles. The only thing that's gonna be weird now is Bader's gonna cut his hair, which is gonna be look kind of weird. Just like some of the guys when they go to the Yankees, they gotta shave their beard or whatever. I'm not gonna recognize like half the guys on the Yankees for the first week. Don't get me wrong. I will not recognize half the guys they traded for in the first week. Eventually, I'll figure it out. So, that's always one of the funny things about guys getting traded to the Yankees. You're looking at them and like, who is that? Oh yeah, they had to shave their beard. But yeah, I think it's a good trade overall, for both sides. They both got what they needed. They did have to give up a little bit what they wanted, but for to me, a good trade, you gotta like what you're getting back, but you do have to part with something. It's not a trade if you give up nothing.
Yeah, no, you got to give up a little bit of something to get a little bit of something. That's what makes trades, almost sometimes really hard and very difficult, and that's why, some trades don't even work out just because, oh, well, we don't really want to give up this guy because we really believe in him. Um, but like I said, I really think that the trade is going to work well for both sides, especially for the Yankees. Matt Blake has done, and the rest of the coaching staff has done a really good job with the pitchers. And if Matt Blake can figure out how to unlock Domingo Germán's 2019 season, which he had a record of 18-4, 18 wins, 4 losses. He had a 4.03 ERA that year. But as far as batting average and whip goes, he had pretty good batting average and whip that year. And like I said, if you can unlock that 2019 season as your fifth starter, I don't know, man. I feel really good about that.
Yeah, exactly. And also too, like you lose Montgomery, like put like this: if Severino wasn't injured and they went out and got Montas, someone has to go out of the rotation anyways. It just happens that Severino got injured, but Germán's still more than serviceable, so I think the Yankees should be fine. Any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
No, hey, Yankees, we're going for it. I love the moves we made. It's been a fun year so far. Let's see where these new pieces can bring us. Hopefully, it's a parade.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Make sure to check out all the links in the description, the Bleacher Brawls website, podcast, Instagram, Twitter, and all of the crew's Twitters. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We're down there putting up a lot of content. So make sure to stay tuned. And we have a lot of podcast content coming out this week as well. A lot of trade deadline content on the website as well, just like here on the YouTube channel. So doing a lot. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. For Barnes, I'm Derrik. Thanks for watching Bleacher Brawls, and we'll see you next time.